Hello, Robotics Notes fans. Happy 4:38 a.m. and welcome to an episode of Robotics Notes Elite Like Animal Crossing, the July 10th episode, which I tried to record about an hour or two ago and got interrupted fairly early on. Oh gosh, what was that? What a weird noise. Anywho, it's time to record this for real now. I was only like 2 text boxes in before I had to stop, so thankfully didn't waste too much time. Hiromu Hidaka. By the time I return home from fishing, it's just before noon. I'm getting home around this time for years now. A decade ago, I'd usually be back afternoon. The reason is simple. Recently, the catches have been underwhelming. And compared to a decade ago, my earnings have fallen by almost half. After all that wasted effort, I find myself dragging my feet before sitting on the tatami mat. There's already a cold bottle of beer on the table for me. That's what beer looks like, everybody. That little bowl full of stuff. That's beer. Stay away. I always have a beer after returning from fishing. It's my daily custom. My wife is hurriedly preparing lunch in the kitchen. There's no sign of my parents who live with us. They must be out working in the fields. Take a pack of cigarettes from my pocket for a smoke. There's none left inside.
Oi.
Hey, cigarettes. Say again? The response from my wife in the kitchen is delayed. She sounds like she can't stop what she's doing. Never mind, I'll get them myself. Irritated, I stand up and head to the shelf by the entrance where a carton is stored. On the way, I pass by my son's room. The sliding door is open. For some reason, I stop. My son Subaru is at school around this time, so naturally he isn't in his room. Unless my morning fishing trip gets canceled, I never see my son during the morning hours. I'm concerned, as Subaru's been acting strangely ever since he went to Kagoshima at the end of June. He's been somewhat restless, unable to focus even. In particular, I've noticed that he's been avoiding making eye contact with me. When I ask my wife if she knows anything, she just gives me stupid answers like, he's just at that age. As his father, I'm a little concerned. After he graduates, it'd be an issue if he didn't come fishing with me. He's inheriting my work after all. My wife wants to send him to college, but we don't have the money for that. That's why I'm especially concerned about my son's distant attitude. There was a time when Subaru was extremely rebellious. He said he wanted to go to university for robot engineering, but naturally I opposed to this fiercely. Since that's happened once, I'm worried he might say something ridiculous again. For reasons even I don't know, I enter my son's room. It's a tidy, clean room with few personal decorations to speak of. In fact, it's so clean I find it hard to believe it belongs to a young man his age. Excuse me. 1 second. There we go. Sorry, phone. Stupid. My son can be pretty responsible in some ways. He's completely different than me in that sense. He must get that from his mother. What am I doing snooping around my son's room? What am I, a jilted lover? What's the point of this? Subaru once made me a promise. He said that after he graduates, he'd inherit my work. It isn't a father's duty to trust his son. I sigh, then begin to take my leave. Just then, a piece of paper sticking out of a textbook on his study desk enters my line of sight. My son's room is tidy, so this one thing stands out like a sore thumb. It draws my attention. Without thinking too much, I pull the piece of paper out. I assumed it was a test sheet or something, but it isn't. My son's handwriting. Ugh. And it is a list of... In my son's handwriting is a list of difficult words. It's almost like some kind of code. Ugh. I'm a fisherman, so I ain't too educated. I have no idea what any of it says. But I do know what he's writing about. Robots, eh? Masked behind chaos, secretly, slowly, a plan to destroy human society as we know it is potentially underway. Dachi-san is reading the text from my phone droid's screen aloud. Figured an urban legend maniac like her might know something. In the end, curiosity got the best of me and I read all the Kimijima report. Alright, here we go. This is a backup report in the event that I am killed. I have been threatened by someone. They are cleverly hiding themselves, but I sense their I sense their psychological mental pressure. I have a high chance of being attacked by an electromagnetic wave weapon. I do not know when you are reading this. One world order may have already been formed. Nonetheless, I am most likely no longer a part of this world, so I will leave the truth I know here. NASA is hiding the important truth from the public and has refused to report it. The Ulysses project was not about researching the sun. In November 2000, while studying from the Antarctic Circle, they saw an indescribable situation occurring in the magnetic activity. They discovered a magnetic monopole, like the monopoles described in sci-fi. However, NASA blew it off, saying it was fake. They used media all over the world to broadcast propaganda that made people think the leaked truth was a lie. This incident of information control was no doubt operated by the Tavistock Institute. In the end, their propaganda succeeded. As of the current year, 2009, the discovery of the monopole has stooped to the level of an urban legend. However, this is the truth. The sun is coming close to exploding. The science predicts multiple major solar disturbances will occur in 2012, 2015, 2019, and 2020. These will severely affect the Earth and the geomagnetosphere, whatever that's pronounced. If you think I'm lying, look up at the night sky past the year 2012. You will see auroras occurring all over the world. NASA knows the important details regarding the solar disturbance forecasts, but will probably cover it up due to pressure from an organization. The solar disturbance in 2012 would be said to have not have happened. There will be an organization that will use the solar disturbance as part of a terrorist plot. In 2015, an extremely large solar disturbance will hit. Warnings won't mean anything. You can't stop it unless you prosecute them. An unseen force that can cause a global crisis will come without anyone knowing. No information will be provided. Many people will be killed. But that is only the beginning. The greater threat is a plan that will destroy humanity completely. I have my phone in my lap. I think I'm going to put it over here on my deal. There we go. The contents of the report struck me as something that Daichi-san would be into. Well, it's kind of difficult to parse. It's like some kind of mishmash of someone's wildest delusions. But the stuff about the aurora in here all turned out to be correct. She's right, it is. Since 2012, the sun had been highly active. This made the aurora visible even at lower latitudes. If this file really was written in 2009, that means it accurately predicted what happened. Solar disturbance too. Ah, that's right. That was 2015, right? Computers all across the world malfunctioned. The crash of 15. But the stuff in the reports are different. It said serious damage would be caused by solar storms in 2012, 2015, 2019, and 2020. But in reality, there wasn't any major damage in 2012. Indeed, nothing happened. We were only kids at the time, but I remember it being a hot topic. That's the year the Mayan calendar ended, so there were lots of theories about tying it to the end of the world. There were even Hollywood movies made about those 2012 doomsday theories, but nothing actually happened. By the way, we're already in mid-July of this year. Have you seen any news about solar storms? No, nothing. It's actually kind of scary that there's been no news at all. That report did say any info about them would be suppressed, so wonder if that's actually true. Would it even be possible to suppress information from an organization like NASA? Though I guess giant organizations with immense sway are off the subject of conspiracy theories. A dude living in the middle of nowhere, it all just seems like silly fantasy tripe. The problem with conspiracy theories is that once you start questioning things, it never ends. Like an obsession, any trivial thing can be tied to a theory. At that point, it's just a delusion. There's so many organization names in this short report. NASA, Travistock, a certain organization, a group plotting an act of terrorism. Considering the nature of the report, the mention of a certain organization is pretty weird. If they left this behind because they were in danger of being killed, that'd make this an indictment document. But in that case, they'd have no reason to hide info like that, since they wanted to get the word out. It's a mystery who this thing was even intended for. By the way, have you ever heard of this Kamijima guy? You know, the dude who wrote this? Daichiku-san shakes her head horizontally in response. Her smile is somewhat strained. Sorry, I don't think I've ever heard of him. I figured. But, while I don't understand what any of this means, I think the whole circumstances surrounding it is super fascinating, Yashio-kun. Fascinating? That means there could be these, anonymous documents hidden all around Tanegashima, right? These reports are this report is designated number 1, which means there could be a 2 and beyond. Not that there's any guarantee of that. Kinda wanna look for him. Should give it a shot then. The clue was the ghost girl. Huh? I thought you said it wasn't a ghost, but instead some kind of app. I think I introduced itself as a navigation interface app. Well, if there are other files, there should be a girl hanging around them nearby who you can only see through Iruo. I see. If I have the chance, I'll take a look. Daichiku-san's smile is clearly forced. I probably shouldn't expect much. Welcome. Hey, looking beautiful as always. Mizuki-san gives Mizuka, not Mizuki, gives me a bored look, then goes back to sorting sales slips. Is this about the sponsor search? In that case, I haven't found anything yet. Come back another time. Oh, that's right, I had her doing that too. Wonder how things went with the Space Candy Company. Sakio made any progress with the president? It's not about that. There's something else I wanted to ask. You want info? You know the drill. For just a moment, Mizuki-san's languid eyes regain their brilliance. Feel a little hurted. You really are a sadist, Mizuka-san. Buying local products, you're contributing to the local economy. Ain't that swell? Then why don't you eat one with me? Hell no. This woman is a demon. But I don't think it's worth the pain and suffering. How about I just ask and then you can decide if it's worth answering? Good grief, you got one hell of a mouth on you, I'll give that. Mizuka-san shrugs and stops sorting the sales slips. Alright, talk. Nailed it. I lean in closer to Mizuka-san. Kinda looking into a certain person. If you don't know him, I'm not planning to investigate any further. Stop dancing around the subject and ask, I'm busy. How so? I'm literally the only other person in the store. I doubt they're from the island. They seem to have died years ago. Have you ever heard of a person named Ko Kamijima? The very moment I say his name, all the color drains from Mizuka-san's face. Almost as if someone poked a hole in it. Never seen her react like this before. I might be as shocked as she is. Does she actually know this guy? Where? Huh? Where did you learn that name? Guys, I watched Batman vs. Superman earlier today. I rewatched it. I watched the Ben Affleck's Butt edition. It's still a very funny movie. There's a shot. I watched the Ben Affleck's Butt edition for the first time and there's a shot. The like end funeral sequence is in IMAX for some reason. So there's just this like shot of a plate of ZD that's in IMAX for no discernible reason. Like, I'm just imagining someone holding this giant, beefy IMAX camera up to a plate of fucking ZD. It's my favorite moment in the entire movie. I didn't fail to notice Mizuka-san's lips were trembling slightly as she muttered this. Oh man. Misaki Sonomiya? The elevator door opens heavily. The office that I step into is deserted. The 17th floor of the Exoskeleton Company HQ, Aoyama, is occupied by the Hug test run room. While I'm usually doing PR work on TV, my real occupation is a test pilot for Hug prototypes. 3 million Hug units have been sold worldwide. Only a small number of the existing series models are for sale. Most prototypes never see the light of day, undergoing repeated tests in here in the test run room. It's closing hours, so the lights are off in the test chamber. The pilots who work overtime are nowhere to be found. I checked beforehand, but I nonetheless used my phone droid to reconfirm that nobody is left in the office. Things remain unchanged, which means there's only one person still here. I head straight to the section chief's room. The office door is wide open. I look inside the room to see Sawada sitting in his chair, looking at a monitor mounted on the wall. Excuse me. I then step into the room, close the door behind me. Sawada gives me a quick glance, then appears to point me to the monitor with a jerk of his chin. On the monitor is footage of the Robo 1 Grand Finals that took place the other day. But it's not the footage that aired on TV. This video is taken from the guest seats that day. He's probably acquired it from someone in the audience. Truly is a cunning man. Did you see it? The match? No, his movements. It's obvious which of the two operators he's referring to. The operators weren't shown in the on-air footage. It took a lot of effort to find video with them in it. Could have made arrangements for it had you told me. No need. I'm sure you're busy. More importantly, about him. Sawada is fiddling with a pen in his hand. He points to the monitor. While only temporary, he was able to move unnaturally. It wasn't just my imagination. He's abnormal. There's no doubt about it. If nothing else, his actions were humanly impossible. I've compiled the investigation reports concerning that boy. Would you like to see them? Certainly took a long time. What do you mean? Nothing. Nothing at all. Give me your report. I'll send the data. I fiddle with my phone droid. Open message. I think it's interesting that this is what Misaki Sonomiya's phone droid looks like. Because there's no kill ballad on the menu. Maybe you can scroll down the menu, but I feel like there should be a kill ballad on this menu, you know? Sawada receives it and looks down at his own phone droid screen. Kaito Yashio, 18 years of age, born May 5th, 2001, Tanagashima, Kagoshima Prefecture, currently a student. He was a victim of the MF Anemone incident 9 years ago. Whoo! Sawada's sharp gaze pierces through me. Does that mean those superhuman abilities of his are related to the weapon of silence? Yes. Kaito Yashio's sudden increase in reflexes is an after effect of the experiment. And that is the end of Phase 2? Shit. Okay, well, phase 2 ended. To see you all to... Oh, I just realized. It's been a full month. This is the month episode. It's the 10th. Shit. Well, that's awesome. Guys. Happy 1 month. Happy end of phase 2. I'll see you all tomorrow for the first day of phase 3. But until then, no Geo.